Hey guys, and welcome to part 2 of episode 62 for the weekend of Everfree Northwest. Once again, I'm Nemesis, and joining me in our echoey room here is Alcatraz.
Hello.
So yeah, as I found out from editing, this room is not conducive to recording, so we have to deal with it, you have to deal with it, sorry.
Deal with it.
Yeah, so yeah, day 2 of Everfree Northwest. This is usually the day that the big things happen. But first, of course, we had last night after we talked, but because, well, otherwise we'd be recording at 3 in the morning or something like that.
I will not record at 3 in the morning. I'm
Nope,
sorry.
not going to do it, especially since we had to be up at 8, 7, 8, 9, something like that. But Pony Stock happened last night, of course. And we both attended, although we saw different things a little bit just because of how things are. So, yeah, it was really awesome because, well, we got to see, in the beginning, it was a band from
Don DeVore and the Cutie Mark Crusaders, I believe.
I think it was just the Cutie Marks. Or
yeah,
something.
Cutie Marks. Don DeVore and the Cutie Marks.
So we got, so usually, because almost all the pony concert things at conventions are almost always just electronic, EDM and whatnot. This, we actually got a bit of a rock thing going. So it was really cool, starting off with a big old rock thing. Because usually, last year, I think they separated rock and rave.
Yep. Last year, the Friday night was all rock, and then Saturday night was all rave.
So we got
this one's a little bit.
They're doing both mix it in
on both. So
cool, right? But it was some really awesome music in the beginning. I thought so.
Don DeVore did a really good job.
Yeah, they sang a couple songs from the show, like they sang the cafeteria song from Equestria Girls, which is like people said is probably the best song in the movie.
Yes, it is.
But yeah, so they did their own little spin on that, and then they also had what's her name? I can't remember who sang
Chi-Chi?
the bassist, or I think it was the bassist. But yeah, one of the players came up and sang as well.
No, I know who you're talking about. I can't remember her name.
But we also had Line Monkey sang as
and
Princess Cadence. They sang as
Matthew. I can't remember his last name. They sang the My Cadence song.
Yeah. And then we also got, this was the headline of the night, was Rebecca Schweikert was a singer, and she sang a whole bunch of just awesome. She sang Jackson 5.
Jackson 5.
And yes,
she did one of her own songs.
She did the extended My Little Pony theme with special permission from Hasbro, because apparently you need that.
Yep. One cool thing with her set, she ended, the last song that she did was Everybody Dance Now by C&C Music Factory.
Exactly.
What was really cool, I was down on the floor during that.
Yes.
And about halfway through, one of the guys next to me started break dancing in the middle of the floor. And he did really, really well. And then a whole bunch of people started dancing. We formed a little opening.
In case you haven't been to one of these, they get a little crazy.
They can.
They do. They don't. It's not can. They do. Everything gets a little crazy because then you start getting like little weird dance trains going on. I saw a can line.
Yep, we did a can line. That was awesome.
And people jumping around, people bringing out glow sticks and this glow ball things.
And this one guy, it's this second year I've seen him. He's got these gloves with LED fingertips that blink and change colors, and it's really cool.
Unfortunately, after Rebecca Schweikert was finished, I had to duck out so I could do podcast stuff.
Yeah.
And get that up for you guys. So I made a sacrifice for you guys. You should be happy. And he stayed around, so
I stayed a little bit.
So what happened
after that? We had Halos Fast show up.
Huh.
Yeah, and he did his set. Though we had before that, Garrison Ulrich, also known as Forever Free Brony, who I
wanted
really
to see
like
that,
his
but
stuff.
then I had to bail.
He showed up, and he had Don DeVore and his group. Sort of his group, a whole bunch of musicians actually doing different parts. Mm-hmm. And he went through a bunch of his songs, which was really cool to hear him live. There was some mixing issues, I will say that.
Yeah, there was. That's just the nature of that room.
It does not have very good acoustics.
Yeah. I've heard the sound guys complaining about it, and I'm not surprised.
Apparently, from what I read, what Garrison said, that was the first time he's ever performed live.
Ooh, cool.
So that was cool to see.
Yeah, and then he left.
I left partway through Halos Fast's set.
Because he was probably getting tired.
Because it was getting late.
I then had to go back because of recording responsibility, so I had to go back after I got stuff all uploaded for you guys. I had to go back and monitor the camera again, and there was Eurobeat Brony, who he did a set, including, of course, Discord.
Of course.
I mean, I'm pretty sure he does that with every performance.
I think at this point he's required to.
Yeah,
People
he
would be
also, of
upset
course,
if he
did
didn't.
what was it? I think
Talkbox? Or...
No, the super growly version.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, he did the Nightmare version.
Of the Nightmare version.
Not the Dream version.
Yeah, he did. Well, he did both.
He did both? Oh.
Of the same, sounds the same song, but he ended with the Nightmare version. It's like, and then we had Automatic Jack as well, who I think he high energy. That was insane. He started off with a drum solo while they were getting all this technical stuff set up. So he just did a drum solo while they were doing that, and that was really awesome. Because we don't see that really at these things. But
one cool thing for the people who were up on stage who weren't part of Don DeVore's band but playing with him for everyone's set, we had Tarby, who was really good guitarist, who was up there on the lead guitar the whole time. Aviators showed up as well to do guitar work, and Automatic Jack was showing up semi-regularly to do drum work.
Yeah. Automatic Jack, he was super high energy. Like, he was all the crowd. It's like this crowd who's like dead tired, and half of the people who had been attending over the night were gone pretty much at this point, because it's like 12:40 in the morning.
Yeah.
And it's just suddenly he takes this thing. It's like it feels like everything's starting to wind down. Nope, he comes on and cranks it all up, back the energy back up again. And had this awesome the Scootaloo chicken song. That was, and he did this thing with the Spuck there, Thustra, and that was So of course people woke up immediately. Just 2001. It's like, well, yeah, but this song existed long before the movie is, even though it probably was the one that made everyone associates it with. But whatever. Yeah, so it was really great. And then of course everyone had to bail out, and unfortunately it started to reek because everyone jumped and dancing around. So, but yeah, that's gonna happen when
that's what happens.
Dance around like a maniac. So that happened last night. But today, I guess technically also happened this morning. But anyway, today we woke up with a little PMV contest with breakfast, and that was kind of interesting, but I've never been too into PMVs anyway, so. But they were pretty cool. But this is one of the things that doesn't really work to talk about it on an audio thing because it's very visual.
Yeah.
But there's the VA panel, so that was the big thing, so it was really packed.
Yeah.
A lot of people wanted to have to stand in the back because no more seats. But
yeah, I was lined up almost an hour early, just to.
And you were still pretty far back.
Yeah, I wasn't as far back as I'm used to being, but yeah,
it had, of course, Kathy Westluck, Michael Dobson, Rebecca Schweikett, Marika Hendricks. I keep stumbling because that's what her name is, and it was hosted by We Are Borg. And yeah, so it was just, it's kind of a standard VA panel. Usually, there's some of the same questions, but little twists and stuff. So they had stuff like, what's your inspiration? And they had all these sorts of different things about, who, like Rebecca revealing, like, yeah, I was more into music. And then I kind of started doing the voice work, and Kathy saying, oh, I wasn't really into voice work initially, but I kind of fell into it by accident, which is very rare. If you hear most people, it's like, for most people, it's very rare to kind of accidentally become a voice actor.
Yeah, most of them have to put a lot of, having to try.
Not discouraging her effort or anything.
Not at all.
Downplaying that, but she was an accident.
Yeah,
she was a producer at first, but it's so we also heard things like what animal would you like to play in this, and one of them wants to make her cat a cartoon character.
That was either Marie, or however you pronounce that,
or
Rebecca.
Marika.
It was one of the two.
It was Marika. We did get a lot of questions that were actually somewhat interesting. I was surprised because a lot of panels, to be honest, there's a lot of really bad questions because people either ask questions we already know the answers to, or they repeat questions. It's like, or it's something that's already widely known.
Or they ask questions that the voice actors wouldn't have anything to do with.
Yes. We got a couple of those still, but for most of them were actually really good. Just stuff like, some of them need standard stuff like, what would you do if you met the character you voiced? Or what would you do if you actually go to Equestria? And we had there's one that I'm trying to remember that stood out kind of. And, of course, what would your cutie mark be?
Yeah. There was,
if you're a pony.
There was one. Do you have a weird hobby?
No, the weird hobby. That was
And...
do you think your character would share it?
Would your character have that same hobby?
And one, Marika was apparently collects weird coins and
And
stuff.
Dobson.
And Dobson too.
Marika and Dobson apparently both now discovered that they both like collecting coins.
Yeah. The other two didn't really have weird hobbies per se, but oh well. So, but still, it's like, would Sunset Shimmer knit? No, probably not.
No, her response wasn't no, it was hell no.
Yeah, so hell no, but yeah, so it's just weird, just a little weird. And one that I liked was just what was it like playing, basically being a villain. Yeah, it's like what's it like playing a villain? Because every actor I've heard talk about being a villain, it's like it's always so much fun. Yeah, and they kind of gave different answers in that, but it was still kind of along the same lines. But a lot of them were giving kind of different answers. Like you have to embrace it, and like you can't just think about, oh wow, this is so horrible. You have to just kind of go full both for.
Find something about the villain that you like.
Yeah,
and they also said it was different than voicing their normal character. Whereas with the normal character, you bring yourself into it.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in a villain, you try and make yourself match the villain.
One thing. What was one of your favorite things to record? I think that was one of something like that. But just like, what was one of their favorite things to record? And like Rebecca said, Sunset's breakdown at the end of Equestria Girls. She loved doing that.
Yeah.
Because that was most of a. See, again, this will be on.
It's all recorded.
It's already. You might have already seen it on Ponyville Live, but of course it's going to be on YouTube as well, so you can see that rather than hear us ramble about it a little.
Yeah.
He didn't really, unfortunately, wasn't able to attend much else.
No, there wasn't very many panels after that I attended.
I got to see a little bit of a fan fiction panel. Unfortunately, again, I had to duck out of that, but it was starting to be interesting. It was this particular panel was, I believe, it was about. Yeah, it was basically becoming successful as a fanfic writer. It's like being big. And the joke immediately is like, to become big, get in a time machine and jump back to 2011. But it's just basically trying to talk about like, what numbers you should be paying attention to. Because like, Story can have thousands of likes, but you only have so many followers. And like, what's more important, having a large number of followers or having a large number of likes or views on your story? And just sometimes... And just basically just talking about how you do it and networking, and talking about networking is a huge thing. Like
it's always a huge thing.
And you have to basically just kind of, and sometimes, and also just the whole, it's a lot of hard work, but also just sometimes it's just plain luck. You get hit the right moment.
Mm-hmm.
Like
right story at the right time.
The author of Past Sins, he said that he once posted a story. He loved it. He loved writing. It was so much fun for him, but he posted it right as the final 3 chapters of Follow Equestria came out, so everyone ignored it because Follow Equestria was wrapping up.
Yep.
So it's just sometimes luck and timing. Sometimes you will be immediately overshadowed. And so, unfortunately, I couldn't get much else out of that because, again, I had to duck out. And the reason I ducked out was because I had to go I want to get autographs, and because I found out, oh, crap, Rebecca Choquette is not scheduled for Sunday at all, so I need to go get autographs, and this is my last chance. And so, yeah, I got a...
Priorities.
Yeah, priorities, man. Gotta get my autograph. So yeah, I got a signature from Rebecca Choquette on a Leakfish print, and I also got her to sign my Twilight Funko figure, which I'm really happy about. So now I just need to get meet Tara Strong again, so I could get the other wings signed. Yeah, and here's the thing: autographs. If you're ever going to a convention, autograph lines are always long, and
yes,
it's always going to be a long line because. What happens is everyone wants to talk to the voice actor or writer or whoever. They always want to. And you're going to too. So don't get angry at them because you're going to do the same thing. You're going to geek out and want to talk and get a picture and all that stuff. So
not only are they long, they're slow.
Yeah, it's in Everfree. I don't think so much at other conventions, but Everfree, they let kids go first, always.
Yep.
Doesn't matter if they came in behind you. They go before you if they're under 12. So just don't sit there getting angry at children.
Yeah.
That didn't look good for you.
No.
And so I spent a good chunk of my afternoon sitting in line for an autograph. I got to say it was worth it though.
Yeah.
And then at the end I went to the EQD panel, Equestria Daily, who we've kind of, I think, ribbed a few times, but they're a little bit bigger than us, so we got to keep our heads low at times.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of interesting because just them talk. It was mostly just quick Q&A. They pretty much made the whole panel Q&A, so it was just people asking and kind of occasionally dissing them. But just what was it like when you guys first met in real life? Like that was an interesting question. So because for a lot of us we all met online, although not Alcatraz and I, but most of us met our friends in this fandom online first. So, and then we have these preconceived notions built up in our heads, and it's like, then you kind of read them and like, oh wow, you're actually a real person. It's just how they said it. It's like, you're actually real. We're not really expecting, even though we know it's a thing. We just kind of throws us for a loop.
You forget about it. All you know is
you're a real person.
Name.
We just have screen name and sometimes a pony.
Sometimes a pony, yes. Sometimes just a name. Sometimes something else.
So they talk about that. What was the best worst fanfic that was ever submitted that you read?
Best worst.
Or best worst thing period that you ever had to sit through. So one of them was talking about this horrible fic with that was about I'm trying to remember their name now. It was something stupid like Dark Moon or something, who's the child of Sombra and Chrysalis, and somehow and just they're talking about how you think it can't possibly get worse, and then it somehow does. And like at one point, like this thing, literally in one sentence, this character goes up to Celestia and kills her in one sentence. It's like,
wait a minute.
So yeah,
that does remind me. Last year or the year before that, the EQD panel that I went to.
Probably the year before.
It was probably the year before. They actually posted a joke fanfic to the site during the panel.
That was
hilarious.
And yeah, this was a small room, so everything was all packed in. But it was very just all the little interesting things from there. So
yeah,
as much as I kind of like, I think sometimes I'll give Equestria Daily a little bit of crap every once in a while. But at least and of course, they even said, do not ask us whose best pony is. I just will start a fight. In fact, actually, don't ask this worst pony either, because I would start a bigger fight. And then, of course, someone asked, who is most adequate pony?
Of course, someone would ask that.
And then, of course, Calpain is the most adequate science pony. Okay. And then someone shouted Applejack is best background pony, and fight almost ensued.
A kid actually did that.
Yep.
At the voice actor panel.
Yeah, it was funny.
Wow.
And apparently I found out at the what was it? The feud thing, the game you
Pony Feud.
Pony Feud. Apparently someone said something like about that's Spike good, and everyone said nothing. And Kathy Westluck was there. It's like, wow.
Oh.
So
that's sad.
Whatever. So yeah, that was pretty much all we did today. I guess except for I also bought some new plushies because I can't stop. And so I got my first Sunset plushie though. So hooray!
I got yet another Rainbow Dash plushie.
Yeah. So
yeah, I didn't do much else either.
It's weird. It's like the big day, but it's also kind of small. And so I don't know what's gonna happen tomorrow. I think we all both already have our own plans, but we'll definitely be back tomorrow night with more. So stay tuned for that. You'll see it real soon. But anyway, till then, remember guys, take care and please pony responsibly.